from the New Arts and Media Studios in Milwaukee. I'm Charles Purcell with my RNC Journal, Day 1. As promised, I'm going to just give you a few notes on my experience today at the Republican National Convention. I should say first, you guys know that Peter Donalds and Charles Purcell are the same person, right? That's not a secret anymore. If you didn't know that, you're hearing it for the first time. But I think most people understand that Peter Donalds and Charles Purcell are the same person. And Peter Donalds was hired by Pacifica to cover the convention, so that's what got me down there. All right, with that out of the way, and let's get one other thing out of the way first before I go to today. Because I just have to, I have to address this. I will still dance on Donald Trump's grave when he dies, but it's got to be of natural causes. I'm not down with anybody making light of the assassination attempt. Lefties, stop making jokes. I just am not going to give you any rope on this. Violence is absolutely out. It's unacceptable always. Political violence, if we just let that take hold as something normal, then we're just done for. Plus, my fellow lefties, the jokes are too easy. The second, well, not the second, but it only took me about a minute to come up with right away, missed him by that much. I mean, that's just too easy, the Get Smart quote. And then, of course, I saw it the next day in my feed. The other thing I thought almost immediately was, I'll bet somebody's going to do a little mashup, a little AI art of the Orange Menace as Van Gogh with the big bandage on his ear. And of course, somebody did that. If it's just that easy, just don't. It's embarrassing. So don't do it. And a guy died. Another two people got critically injured. This guy from Pennsylvania, Corey Compratore, the guy literally dove on his family to save them. What are you doing making jokes? Cut it out. This is just not cool. It's just not. So I'm not with you. My rage is not only for you, of course. It's much larger for MAGA. Come on. Oh, God, MAGA. Their response to this. You don't care about elderly women and babies being slaughtered and ripped apart in Gaza. I never hear a peep out of you. Oh, but no violence. You don't give a damn about them. You don't give a damn about school children in Texas, about black folks at a church in Georgia, about LGBTQ folks at a dance club in Florida, and I could go on and on. Never a peep from you guys. So you know what? Save it. I heard one woman say, "This is why we have to vote for Trump. This country is out of control." What? How did she arrive at that? And then, J.D. Vance and Marjorie Taylor Greene and other Republicans literally blaming Joe and the Dems directly. Like, projection much? Of course, that's what they do. From the Orange Menace statement, it is incredible that such an act can take place in our country. Who are you to say that? What? Just ridiculous. And this whole lower the temperature on both sides BS. It was Kevin Roberts just last week, head of the Heritage Foundation, who said, quote, "We are in the process of the Second American Revolution, which will remain bloodless if the left allows it to be." What kind of threat is that? What kind of rhetoric is that? So yeah, save your crocodile tears. You guys haven't got a leg to stand on. This wacko Republican candidate for governor in North Carolina, what was his quote? Oh, here it is. "Some folks need killing." Yeah, this is the kind of thing they do. But no, they define the Democrats as radicals who hate and want to destroy America. Joe Biden a radical who wants to destroy America? You know me. I'm not a fan of Joe Biden. I got lots of beefs with Joe Biden. But he's not a radical who wants to destroy America. It's nuts. From the Orange Menace, literally called Joe Biden the devil. He wants militias and the National Guard to beat up protesters. He thinks the military should be able to shoot them in the leg. The U.S. military should go out to protest and shoot the protesters in the legs. Well, first he just wanted to shoot them, but then his advisors said, well, Mr. President, you can't do that. Well, could we just shoot him in the leg? He wants to execute political enemies for treason. He dehumanizes immigrants, calls them animals, vermin. So yeah, talk to me about rhetoric that leads to violence. Oh, but you call Trump a fascist who wants to destroy democracy. Well, hey, listen, if you don't want to be called a fascist, stop being a fascist. He loves Xi in China. He loves Putin. He loves Kim Jong-un. He loves Viktor Orban of Hungary, who has amended their constitution out of existence. The entire GOP is openly hostile to democracy. You know what? Ask your crazy uncle next time you see him at Thanksgiving. Ask him, is the United States a democracy? Oh, no, he'll shout, no, we are a constitutional republic, and tell you all the reasons why democracy is bad, and then he'll cite the Federalist Papers, chapter and verse. Well, anyway, as Joe would say, anyway. The issues of the campaign don't change, I don't think. The tenor and tone of the campaign, though, I don't know. It hasn't really so far. They say it will. I don't know. Wouldn't it be something if this was the moment that, totally transformed the Orange Menace? If he had, a Charles Dickens sort of Scrooge awakening, wouldn't that be something? I doubt it, but okay, we'll find out Thursday night. But, yeah, I don't know. Joe Biden himself said if the Lord Almighty comes down, things could change in this election. Maybe the Lord Almighty came down. I don't know. All right, today at the convention, just in no particular order, my thoughts for today. Milwaukee looks good. You know me, I love my city. I never saw it dressed up looking so good before. Holy hell. It's just sparkling. It was hot today, but it was sunny and really beautiful. But yeah, Milwaukee looks good. I'll say that. I kept sort of bursting into laughter just from my own thoughts. Kind of it's a bit of a gallows humor because, and I'll get into this in a minute, I just felt sick being down there. This is not your normal convention. This is a fascist rally it's a lie fest in Milwaukee, the city of festivals. Well, this is the festival of lies. Just up and down. But one of the things I laughed at, you got to see this. Talk about getting all shined up and looking good. The people of television, the television reporters, they're such a bunch of Barbie and Kens. They're so coiffed and they're so blonde and they're so, oh my God, you can just spot them a mile away. It's just laughable. It's, they failed on one count, the convention organizers. There's hardly any food in Fiserv Forum. I was getting really hungry looking for food. I could only find one or two concession stands open for food, and they both had lines around the block. So, I went hungry today. Here's one. They got these big letters out in front of Fiserv Forum that say Trump 2024. They stand about, they must be at least 5.5 feet high. And I was walking behind it, and I noticed a lot of people were taking pictures of it, of course, from the front. And so I photobombed. I put my hand through the P of Trump, and gave him the finger. So somebody's gonna look at that picture and see my hand flipping them off. I was pretty proud of that. I thought that was pretty good. On a more serious note, like I alluded to just a minute ago, I just felt sick being there. It's just, I'm disgusted at how everybody in the media is just, they're acting like this is a normal event. Like any other convention they may have covered over the many years of television and radio journalism. There's nothing normal about this. There is nothing normal about this. This is a MAGA, fascist, Christian, nationalist, patriarchal, bigoted party. There's nothing normal about them. And I'm just absolutely livid at how the major media is normalizing this whole process. Again, it's a festival of lies. And not only lies, but lies that aim to serve the most despicable agenda ever proposed for American government. Shame on the mainstream media. Shame on them. And I'll give a little plug right now to the Pacifica Network's coverage, of which I'm a part. Very proud of the 2-hour wrap-up they did today. We will do it every night of the convention. Talking about those very things. Talking about Christian nationalism. Talking about the fate of workers. The emphasis and the approach and the angle that Pacifica takes, you will not hear anywhere else. So I highly recommend, just Google it up. It's easy to find. Pacifica Network, live stream every night, 7 to 9 p.m. Central, 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern. You can find it at riverwestradio.com, which I mention all the time, my home station, WORT in Madison, WBAI in New York, and then several other Pacifica affiliates carrying it around the nation. So find it, give it a listen. Big plug there because they deserve it. The team is just, I'm so impressed with the team. And again, covering stories and angles about people. I talked to some people today about, they always wanted to bring up the Democrats too. They don't like the Democrats either. But several people I talked today at the protest were talking about third parties, alternative parties, non-corporate parties, how we need them, and the devastating effects on climate that the MAGA party would bring to us. And just so, yeah, good stuff. J.D. Vance. All right, J.D. Vance, VP. What a joke. What a joke. A grand total of 1.5 years experience in government. He's an Ohio senator, 1.5 years in office. He once called Trump America's Hitler. Called him stupid. And now he's decided, well, looks like Trump's a winner. He's going to win. So I'm going to latch onto that wagon. What a tool J.D. Vance is. He's a good talker, I'll give him that. Have you heard him talk in the media? He's about 1 million times smarter than the Orange Menace. Of course, that's a low bar, but yeah, that's the problem with J.D. Vance. He's young and he's smart. The fact that he's a craven opportunist and that he wants to force women to carry to full term regardless of the circumstances, even rape and incest and danger to the mother, and he wants a national ban on abortion. He's a bad, bad guy. I heard, what's his name? Michael Steele, the former RNC chair. I heard him on MSNBC tonight say that that this makes it official now, if it hasn't been already, that MAGA is now the party. The GOP is dead. The Republican Party is gone. It's the MAGA party with this choice of J.D. Vance. He called Vance Trump's progeny. The guy's only 39 years old. He's the Orange Menace in miniature. He'll be a total sycophant. He'll do anything that Trump tells him to do, unlike his former VP, who decided not to steal the election for him. So, yeah, thoughts on J.D. Vance. Hey, here's something. I was in Fiserv while they were doing their nominating speeches. Each state gets up and they talk about their state for a minute, and they mention the mucky mucks from their state. Oh, the home of the great governor so-and-so, and they do that. Well, somebody, I don't know who he was, I didn't recognize him, was standing up for Vermont. And get this, he says at the end of his comments, and we are the home of Senator Bernie Sanders. And the whole crowd cheered. They love Bernie Sanders, which just is another indication I've been saying for years. Trump voters would love Bernie Sanders because he's a burn it down kind of a guy. It's like actual change. I said it in 2016. I said it in 2020. Nobody listened to me. I said, put Bernie Sanders on the ballot and you'll get half the MAGA voters. Because they're just underinformed, undereducated, and all they want is change. They don't know. I just found that pretty interesting. That a room full of MAGAs cheered Bernie. Okay, I'm giving you random notes from the RNC today. Here's another one. Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin spoke to the crowd tonight. And he actually had the nerve to give MAGA credit for lifting millions of children out of poverty. What? When did the GOP do that? When did the Orange Menace lift millions of children out of poverty? And then I remembered, oh yeah, right. That was the child income tax credit. Speaking of Bernie, that was Bernie and the Democrats of Congress that had to fight tooth and nail for the child income tax credit. And it did lift millions of children out of poverty. Thank you to Bernie and the Democrats of Congress. And that very bill they passed, the MAGAs in Congress allowed it to expire, putting those same kids right back into poverty. But Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin has not only the nerve to take credit for it, but then, he conveniently forgets that, the Republicans in Congress refused to extend it. So, okay, kids, go back to being poor. Ay, what a day. What a damn day. If you've seen any of the coverage, there's a band that plays. While I was in the hall, by the way, I went down to the floor for a while. There's the floor where all the delegates are. And then obviously there's the seats, your typical basketball arena. So everybody's in the seats, but then the delegates are down on the floor. And so my credentials allowed me to go down on the floor. And I got to tell you, I guess I said this already. I felt sick inside. I just had to leave. I lasted maybe 2 minutes or 3. I couldn't be down there. Oh, this is very sad. Oh, I was talking about the band. Apparently they know about 7 songs, 2 of which are China Grove. While Speaker Mike Johnson was at the podium, the teleprompter went out. And it was funny where it went out. He was just about to introduce the a former attorney general or the attorney general. I don't know which, of some state. But he said attorney general, and there goes the teleprompter. And apparently he didn't know the guy's name without seeing it on a teleprompter. So he just sort of abruptly walks off stage, and the band kicks in, and they played. I guess while they were fixing the teleprompter, they played 7 songs, and 2 of them were China Grove. It's like they're running out of material. Oh, you guys, what are we going to do with this world? I'm telling you. So there you go. Those are my thoughts on the on day 1 of the convention. Again, save yourself the pain of watching this on mainstream media. Because, you have to know with the Agenda 47, which is the Orange Menace's document about what he wants to do, and it lines up pretty well with Project 2025, and they want to take away all rights for LGBTQ folks. They want to make women have babies, even if they're dying. They want to destroy public education entirely. They want to give the entire power of government to one person, i.e. President Orange Menace, and take away the expertise of the agencies. No, you can't. The Supreme Court has already taken that away. So, yeah, we're not exaggerating when we talk about an authoritarian government. We're not exaggerating when we talk about billions and billions, even trillions of dollars going to the top 1%, while wages remain stagnant and job security is impossible. And so the nerve of their little theme today to make America wealthy again, just a flurry of lies, just lie after lie. And you know me, I've got plenty of complaints. Sometimes when they criticize the Democrats, they're right. But then usually they're wrong because they get the whole thing wrong. Every once in a while they get lucky, like the broken clock, and they get it right, but then they offer no solutions. It's just a bunch of platitudes, how they're going to make America great again, make it wealthy again, and how we're going to resurrect family values, and just a bunch of platitudes. They don't have the nerve to put Steve Bannon up on the podium or Steve Miller to articulate the actual plan. No, they don't want to do that. So yeah, they're going to wrap it up in a pretty red, white, and blue bow. They're going to wrap that flag around their shoulders, and they're just going to bamboozle a lot of voters. And based on, the fight in the Democratic Party about whether or not Joe should stay on the ballot, and then this assassination attempt, which I don't know. I just had this sinking feeling that was the moment it was all over. But you can't think that way. Don't let me think that way. I can't deny the thought, the involuntary thought. Like, well, that's it. It's over. But you can't do that. You can't think that way. Okay, I'm going to give you a day 2 journal tomorrow, and then the regular podcast, the log, drops on Thursday nights, or Wednesday night, midnight. Be ready for you Thursday morning. And then we'll see what happens Friday if I give you a little wrap up. We'll see. All right. I love you guys. I'll give you the regular wrap up here. Remember River West Radio, riverwestradio.com. That's our flagship terrestrial station. Contact me, Charles Purcell, at Gmail. Follow on Facebook. The website is charlespurcell.com. This episode and all others are right there. Or, of course, go to your favorite platform. And finally, Peter Donalds wrote and performed the theme song. So, reporting from the Lie Fest in Milwaukee. Good luck to us all. Talk to you tomorrow.